Welcome back to Character Conversions, where I try to bring fictional characters to life in D&D. Today it's time to bring life to our favorite genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, Tony Stark, better known as Iron Man. For stats, we'll be using the standard array from the player's handbook. Our strength will be 8. Tony is probably stronger than this, but hey, the 8 has to go somewhere. Dexterity will be 14, the max we will need to up our AC and armor. Constitution will be 13, we want to be able to survive a missile going off in our face after all. Intelligence will be 15. Let's be honest, we all knew where the 15 was going to go for Tony. Wisdom will be 10. Tony is prone to making some poor decisions. And finally, Charisma is 12. We can come off as rude and brash and still talk a reporter into our bed. For race, Tony will be human of course, but we'll be taking very inhuman to gain access to a feat. Our ability score increases will go into Intelligence and Constitution, raising them to 16 and 14 respectively. Our skill of choice will be Arcana. Our feat of choice was going to be Prodigy, because what is Tony if not a prodigy, but instead I'll be taking Skill Expert, which is basically the same feat but better. We increase one ability score of our choice by 1. We don't have any odd abilities, so let's just bump our strength. We gain proficiency with one skill of our choice, let's pick up Stealth, and then we choose one skill of our choice to gain expertise in. If you can convince your GM to let you have expertise with Smith's tools, I'd go with that, but otherwise we will choose Arcana, doubling our proficiency bonus in it. Back to our race, we speak and write Common, plus one of our choice. Let's pick up Dwarven so we can be sure to have some drinking buddies. On the background, Tony of the MCU had a bit of a high-class upbringing, so we'll be using the Noble background. This gives us proficiency with History and Persuasion. We also have proficiency with one type of gaming set. Choose whatever you'd like. I think I'll go with Chess. We learn additional language, so on top of Common and Dwarven, let's grab Gnomish since they are known to be inventors as well. Finally, we gain the Position of Privilege feature. This makes it so we are welcome in high society and people assume we have the right to be wherever we are. The common folk make every effort to accommodate us and avoid our displeasure, and other people of high birth will treat us as a member of the same social sphere. We can even secure an audience with a local noble if we need to. For class, we will of course be going with Artificer. This gives us a D8 hit die, proficiency with Constitution and Intelligence saves. For skills, we'll pick up Perception and Investigation. We also gain proficiency with Light and Medium Armor, as well as Shields. Finally, we have proficiency with Simple Weapons, Tinker's Tools, and one type of artisan tool of our choice, of which we will be choosing Smith's Tools. Our first class feature is Magical Tinkering. Using a set of Thieves' Tools or Artisan's Tools, this allows us to touch a tiny non-magical object and give it one minor magical property. We can either have the object shine bright light in a 5-foot radius and dim light in an additional 5, have the object emit a 6-second recorded message that can be heard 10 feet away, have the object continuously emit our choice of odor, or non-verbal sound, or a static visual effect appears on one of the object's surfaces, such as a picture, 25 words of text, lines, and shapes, or a mixture of these elements. Next, we gain access to our spell casting. As an artificer, to the casual observer, we won't appear to be casting magic, though we appear to produce wonders from mundane items and outlandish inventions. Sounds a whole lot like Tony when he had to get into the Mandarin's mansion. Do note our magic will require we have Thieves' Tools or a Artisan's Tool in hand as our spellcasting focus. We learn 2 cantrips at first level. Let's go with Mending to make sure we can repair anything we might need to, followed by Shocking Grasp for a little bit of melee offensive ability. For our leveled spells, we actually prepare spells similar to a cleric, so we have access to the entirety of our spell list, requiring only a long rest to swap out spells. We can have a number prepared at a time equal to our intelligence modifier plus half our level. So instead I'll just be pointing out particular spells I think might help you feel like Iron Man. At first level, good choices look to be things like Alarm or Detect Magic, because they are easily flavored as sensors, whereas Expeditious Retreat, Jump, and Long Strider could be the use of repulsors. At second level, we gain the Infuse Item class ability. Now when we finish a long rest, we can turn objects into magical items. We learn 4 infusions, of which we can have 2 active at any one time. I will choose whatever infusions I think can best represent Iron Man's armor, but these can be switched out for whatever might work best in your campaign. First we'll grab Armor of Magical Strength. This gives our armor 6 charges. We can expend 1 charge to add a bonus to a roll equal to our intelligence modifier, and if knocked prone, we can use our reaction and 1 charge to avoid being knocked prone. The armor regains 1d6 expended charges at dawn. For our second infusion, I recommend Replicate Magic Item and pick up a pair of Goggles of Night to give us dark vision. For the remaining 2 infusions, pick up whatever might fit your campaign or personal tastes. At third level, we choose our Artificer archetype. There's no better choice for Tony than the Armorer from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. This grants us Tools of the Trade, granting us proficiency with heavy armor, and Smith's Tools. But as we already have proficiency with Smith's Tools, we can trade that for another Artisan's Tool. Let's go with Alchemist Supplies. Next, we gain armor spells. These will be spells we always have prepared and don't count against our maximum. At 3rd level, this grants us Magic Missile, which is the best representation of the missiles Tony can shoot from his armor, and next is Thunder Wave, which is probably more like the weapon Tony uses against the Winter Soldier in Civil War. Finally, we get the most important part of our build, Arcane Armor. As an action, we can turn a suit of armor we are wearing into Arcane Armor, so long as we have our Smith's tools. Arcane Armor has no strength requirement if it normally would. It attaches to us and can't be removed against our will, and we can retract and deploy the helmet as a bonus action. In the event of a missing limb, the armor will function identically to the limb it replaces. We can doff or don the armor as an action, and the armor remains Arcane Armor until we don a different suit or we die. Next, we gain Armor Model. We choose between Guardian and Infiltrator, and can switch between them with a short or long rest. Each one has different benefits, but they both have a special weapon that will allow us to use our Intelligence modifier instead of our Strength or Dexterity to attack and damage. The Infiltrator, which will be our most used armor, gives us the Lightning Launcher. It counts as a simple weapon with a range of 90 feet, long range of 300 feet, and deals 1d6 lightning damage on a hit. We also gain Powered Steps, increasing our walking speed by 5 feet, and Dampening Field, which gives us advantage on stealth checks, which cancels our disadvantage on armor if it has it. The Guardian, useful if we have a large hulking monster tearing through a village, gives us Thunder Gauntlets, a simple melee weapon that deals 1d8 thunder damage on a hit. Also on a hit, it gives a creature disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than you. Finally, Guardian offers Defensive Field, allowing us to, as a bonus action, gain temporary hit points equal to our level in Artificer. We lose the temporary HP if we take the armor off. We can use this bonus action a number of times equal to our proficiency bonus, and regain all expended uses on a long rest. At 4th level, we gain an ability score improvement. We will trade this for a feat and pick up Heavy Armor Master. This will increase our strength score by 1, bringing it to a 10, and while wearing heavy armor, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage that we take from non-magical weapons is reduced by 3. No way of knowing if we will have heavy armor by this time, so if not, feel free to push it back until the next ability score improvement. At 5th level, Armor gives us extra attack. Now when we take the attack action, we can make 2 attacks instead of 1. We also now have access to our 2nd level spells. Notable mentions are Blur, giving enemies disadvantage to attack us, Enlarge/Reduce. No precedent for Reduce, but Enlarge sounds like a good combination with the Hulkbuster. Invisibility and even Sea Invisibility are also very useful. Finally, we gain our next set of armor spells. At 5th level, these are Mirror Image and Shatter. Mirror Image will be great for our defense, and the idea of creating a set of holograms to confuse the enemy is pretty cool. At 6th level, we gain Tool Expertise. We now double our proficiency bonus on any check made to use a tool. We learn additional 2 infusions, and we can now have 3 infusions active at one time. I recommend Resistant Armor, which allows us to gain resistance to acid, cold, fire, force, lightning, necrotic, poison, psychic, radiant, or thunder. Choose when we infuse the armor. So with a little forethought and pre-planning, we basically have some extra hit points. At 7th level, we gain Flash of Genius. When we or another creature within 30 feet make an ability check or a saving throw, we can use our reaction to add our Intelligence modifier to the roll. We can do this a number of times equal to our Intelligence modifier per long rest. 8th level, we gain another ability score improvement. Let's drop it in our Intelligence and raise it to an 18. At 9th level, Armor grants us armor modifications. Now our armor counts as separate items for the purpose of Infuse Items feature. We now have the armor itself as a chest piece, boots, helmet, and the armor's special weapon. Each of these can bear one of our infusions, and the infusions transfer over if we change our armor's model with the Armor Model feature. In addition, the maximum number of items we can infuse at one time increases by 2, for a total of 5, but these extra infusions must be part of our Arcane Armor. We gain access to our 3rd level spells this level as well. Without a doubt, the most thematic choice, of course, is Fly. Now we can really feel like Iron Man. Other notable mentions are Haste, for when we need to show Cap who's boss. Intellect Fortress gives us resistance to psychic damage and advantage on mental ability score checks. Plus it just sounds like something Tony would have. Finally, we gain our next set of armor spells. At 9th level, we gain Hypnotic Pattern and Lightning Bolt, a little light show to confuse enemies, and a good representation of firing from the arc reactor. 10th level sees us gain Magic Item Adept. We can now attune to 4 magic items at once, and if we craft a magic item with a rarity of common or uncommon, it takes us a quarter of the normal time, and it costs us half as much as the usual gold. Notable things this includes are spell scrolls up to 3rd level, adamantine armor, bag of holding, ever smoking bottle, gauntlets of ogre power, and potions of healing. If you never let your downtime go to waste, you can keep your party well outfitted. We also gain an additional cantrip, of which we will choose Guidance. It's useful in too many situations. 11th level grants us spell storing item. Whenever we finish a long rest, we can touch one simple or martial weapon, or one spell casting focus, and store a 1st or 2nd level spell in it that requires one action to cast. While holding the object, a creature can take an action to cast the spell using your spellcasting modifier. If the spell requires concentration, then the creature must concentrate as well. The spell stays in the object until it has been used a number of times equal to 2 times your intelligence modifier, or until we use this feature again. This is a great way to give, say, the party fighter haste. My only regret is that it can only be used for one object, but maybe that can be homebrewed. 12th level sees us another ability score improvement. We'll put it in our intelligence again, capping it at 20. At 13th level, we gain access to our 4th level spells. Our next set of armor spells consists of Fire Shield and Greater Invisibility. Fire Shield lasts 10 minutes and doesn't require concentration, gives us resistance to cold, and deals 2d8 fire to someone who hits us in melee. And Greater Invisibility will give us a minute of invisibility with concentration. The list of 4th level spells for the Artificer is not extensive, but it still does have some good options, such as Fabricate, Freedom of Movement, Mordenkainen's Private Sanctum, and Stone Skin. 14th level grants us Magic Item Savant. We can now attune up to 5 magic items at once, and we are even able to ignore all class, race, and spell and level requirements on attuning or using a magic item. Next we gain an additional cantrip, of which we will choose Lightning Lure. Finally, we learn additional 2 infusions and can have 5 infusions active at one time. At 15th level, Armorer's final ability is Perfected Armor. Our arcane armor gains additional benefit based on its model. Infiltrator makes it so any creature that takes lightning damage from our lightning launcher glimmers with light until the end of our next turn, shedding dim light in a 5-foot radius and has disadvantage on attack rolls against us. In addition, the next attack roll against the target has advantage, and if the attack hits, they take an extra d6 of lightning damage. We basically have Guiding Bolt on demand. Guardian Armor allows us to, as a reaction when a huge or smaller creature we can see ends its turn within 30 feet of us, force it to make a strength saving throw against our spell dice check, pulling the creature up to 30 feet towards us to an unoccupied space. If we pull the target within 5 feet of us, we can make a melee weapon attack against it as part of this reaction. We can use this reaction a number of times equal to our proficiency bonus, and we regain all expended uses when we finish a long rest. 16th level grants us another ability score improvement. We will trade this for the Warcaster feat. Similar to Heavy Armor Master feat earlier, this can be moved around to other levels as the campaign requires. At 17th level, we gain access to our 5th level spells. Our final Armorer spells are Pass Wall and Wall of Force. Pass Wall is a little hard to flavor MCU style, as it sounds more like a Rick and Morty type of technology, creating a passageway up to 20 feet deep through a wall. A Wall of Force is easily some type of force field, and is quite good since short of a Disintegrate spell, it's not going anywhere. 5th level spell list is even shorter than our 4th level spell list, so it won't take too much to decide what you want to use each day. Spells like Animate Objects, Big B's Hand, Creation, Greater Restoration, Skill Empowerment, Transmute Rock, and Wall of Stone. 18th level grants us Magic Item Master. We can now attune up to 6 magic items at once. We learn an additional 2 infusions and can have 6 infusions active at one time. At 19th level, we gain our final ability score improvement. I'll say let's drop this in our Wisdom, raising it to a 12. Tony has probably become a bit wiser by this point in his life. 20th level, we gain our Artificer capstone ability, Soul of Artifice. We gain a +1 bonus to all saving throws per magic item we are currently attuned to, which at this point should never be less than 6. If we are reduced to 0 hit points but not killed outright, we can use our reaction to end one of our Artificer infusions, causing us to drop to 1 hit point instead of 0. End result, let's assume we are wearing plate armor at this point. We have 133 hit points on average, we have an 18 AC, 20 if we have taken the enhanced defense infusion. On top of reducing non-magical piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing damage by 3, we are quite tanky, and this is even better when combined with spells like Mirror Image or Blur. We can average 9 damage with our lightning launchers, 19 damage with 2 attacks, and we also support our allies with our infusions and spells, as our spell list isn't really about direct damage. And if you're particularly lucky, you may at one point get to slap on some Guardian armor and go toe-to-toe with an out-of-control rage monster of your party. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment your opinions or suggestions for new builds. I hope all your 20s are natural. See you next time.